Well, welcome back to the Newsman Weekly. Joining us now, as promised, is Rasan Leathers, host of the She Shreds podcast. And I got to tell you, I tried to say that real fast 3 times, and it's almost like she sells by the seashore.
That's why I came up with it.
Well, thank you for that. There's nothing I like better than tripping over my own tongue on a regular basis.
And it's Rasan.
Rasan. Why did I say? I said it right earlier in the show when the tape that I did. I said it right when you walked in the door.
You did.
You know what? I really suck. That's it. All right,
it's Monday morning. So.
But you know what? I promised you we would start over with an egregious mistake, but that's not egregious enough. So we're just going to keep going because this show succeeds best when I fail. I'm just going to say that. So good morning, Rasan.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for getting up so damn early. It is always nice to have somebody on the show, Hayden, Zach, who's comfortable in front of a microphone.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, now that I'm pronouncing your name right, it'll be even better. So let's dive right in. Now, your podcast, I've listened to it, attracts a lot of great musicians. What's your secret to getting artists to drop their guard and give you authentic human answers rather than the standard PR talking points that they're all so well drilled on?
Yes. Really, I don't follow a script, so I like to just see where the conversation takes us. I usually ask them, I do want to know, what went into the making of the name for their band, because there's usually a story behind that. But other than that, it's just, the typical things that I'll bring up, and then wherever it leads us, it does.
Well, speaking of that, what's the strangest band name once you heard it explained that you can remember?
Oh, goodness.
While you're thinking about it, I'll tell you this one. My son was in a garage band when he was in high school. And it was him, 2 brothers, and a couple of other kids, and they always rehearsed at the 2 brothers' house. And they had a younger sister named Susan, who was always bugging them. So the band became Dodging Susan.
Awesome.
So that's the best.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of creative names out there.
So what's the wildest, strangest, best band name story you can recall?
The one I would say I just had on, we recorded an episode this weekend, and it's Leptospira.
Lepto.
Yeah. Leptostira.
Where'd that come from?
And it is actually a medical term of a parasite.
That's heavy. That's hardcore.
It is. It's hardcore. They're hardcore metal, and they even take on personas of doctors when they do their performances.
Okay.
So, I talked with Dr. Rod this weekend. And, he had me, I was rolling.
Dr. Rod.
Some of the names of their songs and, what goes into it.
So, wait, their band translated or whatever is like a parasite, and when they do live shows, they play doctors. So they're actively trying to kill themselves.
No, they're actively trying. They have the vaccine, so it's within their lyrics.
Oh, so they're like the Dr. Fauci. They're up there trying to kill those things.
And they have a big syringe and all that they, use as stage props. So
Man, there's no, you know what? There is nothing more exciting to me than watching people get inoculated on stage.
Oh, there's a band I interviewed called Inoculation too.
Oh, geez. Of course there is.
Cattle Decapitation is one of my favorite heavy band names.
Cattle Decapitation.
Cattle Decapitation.
Yeah.
It's a good
And
band. Good death metal band.
Yep, they are.
Death metal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to explain that one to me a little bit.
What it sounds like.
I don't know. There was a guy I covered in court several years ago who killed his neighbor and apparently blamed it on some Norwegian death metal song that convinced him to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've covered a lot of murderers in my time over years, but that was a first that the death metal song made me do it.
It's awful when people blame music for what they do.
Exactly. You know what? I've often claimed that after a concert when I'm stumbling out afterward and something goes bad. I say, well, the band told me to do that. I got to tell you, heavy metal can sometimes get saturated with traditional interview formats. But when you launched She Shreds, what gaps had you noticed that you wanted to kind of fill and find your own niche in?
Oh, goodness. I'm not really sure if I have identified gaps, really. I think it's just more so getting the names out there, the music, letting people know that it exists, especially in our community and within Ohio. So I feel like I think I would just say it's probably these stories that the bands have to tell, their background, how they got started, what they're doing, what they do in their personal lives, that type of thing.
You know, I'm curious about this as someone who's been in radio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the personalities in various formats. There's women, obviously, in a lot, but rock format. You know, I talk for a living, and I'm struggling to get what my question out.
That's all right.
See,
I'm
Carl,
on the
it's your
struggle
fault.
bus.
Chris, don't worry about it. This show does that to people all the time. You walk in here with confidence, Hayden turns on the video, and you become a blithering idiot. It happens to me all the time.
Sometimes the lights are too bright.
That's all
Oh
right.
yeah. These are the brightest recessed lights you'll ever see. Yeah.
Oh, this
They
is
are
great.
really bright,
This is
yeah.
great. I've always been fascinated with women in rock music, because it's been a male-dominated format of music, especially metal. And I mean, have you found that perception changing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many female-fronted bands out there, from rock to death metal, and I'm not sure. You know, I can't speak to a lot of the reasons why that has changed. That's not really, you know, a path that I go down into, but they're out there, and you know, they do a very, very good job at being a vocalist, and you know, they really try and take their craft serious.
It's interesting that I think it was July 10th, so just a few days ago, and right before Ink in Mansfield, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame up in Cleveland opened their newest exhibit called Women in Metal, You Will Know My Name. It celebrates those who push boundaries and challenge the status quo. It features performers like Lita Ford, Lizzie Hale, Alyssa White Gluz, I'm bad with names, as Rasan knows now, Taylor Momsen and Courtney LaPlante, certainly familiar names to those in the metal music industry. But obviously, how cool is it that the Rock Hall has at least figured this stuff out, that there's other people out there doing this?
Right. Well, I just have to say it's about damn time that the Rock Hall actually inducted people that are actually true rock stars.
Yes, thank you for
You
that.
know,
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It just, every year it's like, what? Where'd they pull that out of? But yeah, I'm really happy. I was really ecstatic when I saw that Lita Ford was inducted. She totally deserves it. That's my girl.
Yeah. Now, you cover on your podcast everything from band humor and gooncore to
Oh my God.
emotional topics like how music heals. How do you balance heavy, serious conversations with kind of the fun, chaotic side of band life?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human, so everybody's got a reason that usually translates into why they are making music and are a musician. So we kind of touch on that, and a lot of times that just comes out naturally in the conversation, you know, when I've got either the whole band or, you know, a few of the members, usually why they got started, what inspired them, and a lot of times it's for a therapeutic reason.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to be able to kind of bounce back and forth between, you know, the real seriousness that they have, especially if their platform is for a specific cause. But most of the time, everybody's got a really good sense of humor, and I feel like that's really important too in music, just because, you know, especially for a musician and band, you're going out there, you're going to meet all kinds of personalities and fans and stuff. So being able to, you know, kind of connect with different people, I think, you know, if it's not something that they're strong in, eventually they will be.
Now, when you interview someone who's and I'll be honest, I don't know what constitutes death metal. I mean, it sounds violent, but perhaps it's not. But when you're interviewing...
It sounds violent.
Well,
but
it sounds violent.
You get all your violence out by not committing actual violence.
Oh.
It's just like the music and the release and the moshing
Okay.
and the punching, and then it's like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
you're the sweetest guy that
So,
you know.
so that which blends well into the question I was about to ask. When you're interviewing someone who is a death metal vocalist, I suspect when you're talking with them, they're a different kind of person than they're playing on stage.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a different personality, but for the most part, everybody I've talked to, they're very down to earth. You know, we've all got very similar lives, a lot of similar things to talk about. It's just that is their passion. That's the area that for them, they choose to use that for an outlet and to also connect with other people. And there's all kinds of different genres too that I'm learning. So it's real interesting. I mean, you hear about hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, groove metal, death metal. I'm sure there's others out there I'm not even mentioning or don't even know about. So it's really cool to see that and get to know what the differences are.
Yeah, and I mean, like in my experience over the years with the metal scene, I remember, I've been in it, like not in it, but just interested in it for a while, and back since high school, and like it was like a lot of the nicest people you'll meet. That's like tattoos and piercings, but I mean, even they put on this like maybe intimidating front to the average person, but like if you go to Inkcarceration, chances are you're gonna feel connected, and you're going to feel the love, and like it's by no means a hippie fest or anything. But even Carl, I was reading some of you're talking to Keith Porch about like, hey, what's how do you stay out of jail this weekend? And he's like, well, we don't really have a problem with that. Right. And it always amazes me every year that all these people come, and there's really you got some dehydration, you got some crowd surfing injuries, but there's not much actual chaos and fighting or anything like that. It's all
there isn't. I mean, the metal community,
the fighting's all like intentional, and
the metal community definitely has a strong love and support system for one another, even if you don't know that person or they're here from out of state. It's not so you can go and start a fight or pick one, or even call people out that are different or seem different, look different. It's everybody's there for the music.
So, Heiser, you're telling me that if I walked into Ink on Friday dressed like I am today,
well, of course, that's your only outfit.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I could.
You should wear socks. Yeah.
Why? I mean,
it's just.
What kind of socks?
Well, any socks.
Do you not wear socks, Carl?
No.
Oh.
No. You know what?
Do you wear tennis shoes?
I have boat shoes.
Okay.
So
All right.
There's no need for. No.
So yeah, if you walk in dressed as you are,
dressed
in your
as
polo
I am,
and your boat shoes.
Yeah, and I'm just wandering around the crowd. I'm just going to be accepted by everybody.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. They're not gonna pick me up and say, let's crowd surf this short fat guy, and the way I go, and I end up like the Wizard of Oz. I end up in Never Never Land or wherever. No, that was I am
only
mixing,
if you want to be crowd surfed.
Boy, the fairy tales they're
just
all over the place.
Well, I will mix metaphors and mix genres and mix titles, but I got to tell you, Rasan, nearly every podcast host has a disaster turned victory story, and frankly, we're still looking for one of those victories here. But what's the most chaotic thing that's happened to you while recording or getting ready for an interview, and how do you handle that moment?
Well, one of the very first episodes that I did not hit record.
We've done that. We actually hit record, but then have a third of the way through it, we wasn't recording, and nobody paid attention to it, which was very disappointing.
Oh, well, fortunately, the guest that I had, she was, she had no issue with it. She totally understood. So we, hit record the next day.
Yeah, we did it.
Was it better the next day, or was it, did you? It's probably the one that was better was the one that you didn't record.
I don't know. We talked about mostly the same stuff. Yeah, so I guess we could just call it like a practice run that we had the first time. But I went to go back and watch it after we were done, and I'm like, why is it not playing? There's nothing there. I can't hear it. Yeah.
I definitely just looked over to the screen and made sure we were recording.
Well, I'll tell you, years ago when Russia invaded Ukraine, we wanted to do a quick video show with John Mosier, the history professor at Ashland University, and we did it on like a Zoom call or something, but it didn't record. We thought it did. So John donated basically an hour of his time sitting in his office explaining the whole Russian-Ukrainian war situation, blah, blah, blah. The next morning he messaged me and says, hey, I'm not seeing it anywhere yet. And I had to explain to him that we didn't record it the way we thought we were going to. So it would never appear. And
learning moments.
Yeah. So John still gave us a few more shows after that.
We just had to fire that person. So.
Yeah. Well, he's gone now. What advice do you give to another woman or anybody looking to start their own heavy music podcast or break into metal journalism today? What's the best way to do it?
Well, figure out what the purpose is. Why do you want to do it? What kind of value are you looking to put out, and know your audience?
All right. I think social media and streaming have changed how underground bands grow these days.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think it's easier or harder for a modern metal band to build a loyal fan base compared to the old days when touring and playing and all that whole genre were going after things?
I'd say it's a little bit of both. It's easier because anybody can put their music out there. So you can have your band or just be a solo act. You've got all the streaming platforms, so you can do it for, little to no money. But building your fan base it can be more difficult than what one would think. Only because the music is really saturated, because anybody and everybody can put something out there. And I guess when you're in that competitive market, it can be tough to grow your fan base. Just trying to figure out what the algorithms are.
My algorithm apparently is just bison flipping old men. Apparently, that's all I've seen on Facebook for the last 24 hours.
Oh my God!
It's a good algorithm. I'm telling you, it's pretty exciting.
That poor guy.
That video is horrific.
Yeah.
I mean, I normally yell at people when they're taking a selfie with a buffalo and they get
He
flipped.
was far away, though.
Yeah, it was him and his grandson. He's my age, for God's sake, and they're 100 yards away, and this is just a bull having a bad day.
So did he? I didn't watch the video. I just saw a picture.
Yeah, he lived.
Did he? Okay, but did the bison actually come towards him, coming through a campsite?
Yeah, the bison had entered a campsite.
Okay.
And had chased some teenage boys. And it's a bull bison, and it is the mating season, rutting season. So he's got a lot of testosterone.
He's horny.
Surgery. Yeah, I didn't want to say
You can
that.
say that, Carl. We're all adults here.
Anyway, after he chased the kids and they got away, he went and he lay down in the dirt, as they're apt to do to get bugs and crap off of them. They get a lot of dust and dirt. And this guy and I think his grandson were standing 100 yards away, and they're taking pictures. And then a park ranger drove by. And the bison got up and started going toward that truck, and the truck kept going. And then he sees the guy and his grandson. Oh, I'll have some of you. Oh. So he charged after them. They ran into a clump of trees to try to get away.
He made an incredible effort.
Oh, yeah. And this bison just kept circling through the clump of trees until he finally found the grandpa and flipped him, I don't know how high into the air.
I think it was 8 feet.
8 feet, thank you. Anyway, he broke bones, but apparently survived and was in good spirits. And a guy was a videographer of sorts, recorded the whole thing. And so that was that one. I had nothing to do with heavy metal. I just wanted to bring that up at some point. But all right, when people tune in to an episode of She Shreds, and I did that again, She Shreds, thank you. What is the ultimate takeaway or feeling you hope they walk away with when they listen to one of your shows?
I hope that if they're not a fan already, they're a new fan, and it's something that they're going to share with their friends and, get out there into the community.
Now, how many shows do you tape? Is it a weekly? Is it every 2 weeks? How often do you do one?
Weekly.
Right.
How long have you been doing this?
Since August of last year.
Okay, so just kind of started.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you're also doing a morning, I see this pop up on Facebook, kind of a morning thought for the day type thing.
Yes,
Very positive.
The affirmations for a badass.
Yeah.
Actually, my best friend, she bought me that deck of cards because I recently switched from working as a manager in healthcare to starting my own home business.
Okay.
So she got me that deck of cards, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to use these because if I don't, they're just going to lay around, and I'm sure that people, we can probably get some laughs out of them. So that's how it started.
Well, they popped into my algorithm. So I got you and I got bison throwing old men through the air. So, all right, let's dive into Inkcarceration. This is like your Super Bowl week
yes,
right
it
here.
is. Yeah.
Now, this show
stoked.
This show in Mansfield is unique. It blends heavy music with tattoo culture inside or right outside a haunted historic prison. Now, from a fan and creator perspective, why do you think that mix comes together so damn well?
Well, I mean, most people like tattoos, gravitate towards tattoos, and it's just part of the rock and metal culture. And seeing how it's a historic place, it just seems to make the perfect spot to bring all of that together.
Now, when did you start going to Inkcarceration?
I started going back when it was Ink and the Clink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the bad old days of...
Yeah.
The early days.
Pre-COVID.
No, that's PC. You know, you have AD, you know, after death.
AD, BC, and now PC.
Yeah, PC, post-COVID, yeah.
And a lot of that comes up, too, in the conversations because I'll be talking to them, you know, some of these guys have gone on hiatus and come to find out that it was, you know, they're going through COVID or either something really changed throughout COVID that they got into music. And it's pretty interesting, but in almost conversation, almost everyone mentions their before COVID and after.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Have you been
The
going
impact.
every year since then? Since
Yeah.
it was back in Ink and the Clink?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And remember the COVID year, there was canceled, right?
Yes.
And which
For
like
a couple years, I
everything
think.
was it? Okay,
I
maybe
feel like it
2021
was,
too
yeah.
they did, but they had in 2020 I was so excited for the lineup because there was like Blink 182
Okay.
and Weezer, and then it got canceled, and then there's like that genre kind of never came back to it. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Which
I
like
know.
I saw they had it at Sonic Temple this year with like Good Charlotte and some of those like post-punk emo
The
bands.
emo, yeah.
But the Ink's a little bit heavier this year. But what have been some of your favorite like shows or performances that you've seen out there?
At Ink.
Yeah.
Well, it's always cool because I hear new bands that I haven't heard of before. So, I mean, even a few years ago, I became a fan of September Morning. They were awesome. And then you have the ones that are always returning, like Disturbed. We've got Limp Bizkit coming back this year. They were here a few years ago. It's hard for me to say a favorite.
Hayden and I were out there at Slipknot show in the rain.
We
last
were
year.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was fun.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. I was making just Hayden stick around with me. He was ready to go home.
Well, I'm sure it was past his bedtime.
No, I mean, hey, it was fun. Zach was fully embracing the rain. I think
Yeah.
he may have lost his shirt in the process.
Yeah.
It was the last time I ever wore my Vans.
See that, and you probably had socks on, didn't you?
I did.
See, that's why you don't wear
He
socks.
had socks on. Yeah.
You can, that way you don't lose your socks. You just have. I've got boat shoes. I'm good for the water. You know? All right. When you look at this year's show, obviously you've got headliners like Disturbed, Limp Bizkit, Bad Omens. Which headliner beyond those three are you most excited to see take the stage?
Well, I got to say I'm really, really pumped, excuse me, to see Vicar Blood. They're playing Friday, and they're an Ohio-based band.
You just had on your
And
show.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So that'll be sweet to see somebody, that I've been able to talk to and know that they're from Ohio. And look, now they're at Ink. Another band, Lorna Shore, they're super heavy.
Yeah.
So be
Play
cool to
some
check
Lorna
them
Shore
out.
for you after
Yeah,
this,
I think
Carl.
Carl would really like it. Yeah.
Now you have
You
to,
won't need coffee
Now,
anymore.
what's
after
the
you
name
do
of the
it.
band on Friday? Because I'm looking at the poster, and some of these you can't, it's a classic metal band. You can't read the name
Oh, why?
because it's all like scribbly and like,
Yeah, the
what do you
graphic
call
can
that?
be.
Yeah, the typeface.
They're like
It's-
Zap Dingbats. Remember
It's
those?
just like a bunch of
Back in the old
it's like
days
a
of bad
Jackson
printing.
Pollock work of art.
You turn your computer system at the news will turn your entire story into a whole bunch of Zap Dingbats that you can't read. Anyway.
But who's that band Friday that you were mentioning? The band that you talked to?
Vicar Blood.
Vicar Blood. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, where did that name come from?
Actually, and this is their vocalist is a female, but she came up with the name. So I'm not sure what went into making that. There's not really a connotation or
It's an interesting
know,
combination
story.
of like religion and something vicar, meaning obviously some sort of priest
Yeah.
and then blood, which could be blood of Christ. So it could be a very religious band. Perhaps they'll sing a hymn.
I think your hymn and their hymns are probably very different.
Probably very different, The last good song I remember being recorded was probably Leonard Skinner back in 1976. So things got away from me after that. There's also some incredible underground regional talent. Now you mentioned the Vicar Blood and some of those folks. Are there any other smaller or mid-tier bands that you think might actually steal the show this weekend?
Oh man, I'm sure there are. It's hard to say because there's so many to choose from and try to keep up with in the lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your strategy with the lineup? Because there's 3 stages, right? There's like kind of the death metal stage, what they put the kind of like off. It's like all the bands that you can't read the typeface. That's those type of bands. You don't know the lyrics. You can't read
it's
the type.
It's usually the smaller bands.
Usually
that they
smaller
have
bands
on the infirmary stage.
But great vibe.
Or your local bands.
And then they've got the redemption and the yard stage, which are going to be side by side.
Yeah.
Right. Again, so they started doing that. So Carl, so you can be at like. And they just alternate those stages. So, like, you can be at one stage with one band and then really not have to move much to see the next band.
But they're setting up, so there's no
They're
real
setting
downtime.
Up.
Right.
Exactly.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
then, or if you want to see the next band, you can kind of make your way up to the front and then watch the other band from across the way. So that's kind of nice. So what's your strategy with it? Are you going to hit like... Obviously, probably, you want to catch the headliners and then probably just see what small bands you like, or do you have any sort of...
Yeah. In between, if there's somebody that, we could, do without having to listen to, then we'll go over either to the other side between the 2 main stages or else go to where the infirmary stage is.
Nice.
So not a real strict schedule. I mean, we just kind of go there and go with the vibe and rock out to who we want to see.
Side question that's related to that. I don't have a ton of experience with the old setup because this is, I think, just my 3rd year going. So one year with the old setup and another last year with the new one.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Because with just those 2 years, I kind of liked how they had the change. I know there's a lot of different opinions out there, but what do you think?
I think I like the previous setup. So last year it seemed a lot more crowded, especially if you wanted to make your way to the front or do some crowd surfing. It was really tough to get through because just having the 2 stages side by side. In previous years it didn't seem so crowded. And on the other hand, it's nice that they were able to get more people to attend, and that's why they did the setup like that last year. I mean, they definitely packed a lot more people in.
Yeah, you do have like that big rectangle just blocked now with both stages of people. So there's some pros and cons.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a couple of technical crowd participation questions. If I'm there, and which I probably won't be, but if I'm there and I wanted to be crowd surfed, do I like hold up a sign that says, "Hey, crowd surf me"? Or how does that work? How does somebody get crowd surfed?
Actually, you take, you're a guy, so you can take your shirt off, you wave it around, and then that's how they know. And they say, "Oh, he's ready to go. Let's pick him up."
Okay.
So don't do that if you
Carl,
don't.
we're going to do that.
I'm totally kidding.
If I took my shirt off and waved it around, the first thing that would be coming would be the cops, and the second would be the paramedics because that guy's having a stroke. That's what that message would be. No, but
goodness.
How do they pick out who they're going to surf?
So you just get around where they're starting to surf, and you just kind of look to somebody like, "Pick me up, pick me up." And they're
Just
like, "All right,
point
we
up
got
because
him."
you can't hear. You can't be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
excuse me, I would like to crowd surf."
Well, see, then I would be out because
You just
I
tap somebody and
I
you just
like
like-
I like to communicate with words. I'm a words guy, so that's what I would do. I'd go, "Excuse me."
And then if
Surf
you
time?
if you do crowd surf, you want to cross your legs.
Okay.
That's a key, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want your legs flailing all over the place.
Right.
You want to cross.
You don't
them
want to be kicking heads.
at the ankles like you're going down a water slide.
Okay. And how do I tell them where to take me? And at what point they should put me down? Is there a direction book for this?
Yeah, I mean,
I
is it
would
like a
say-
beach ball that
Yeah,
you're throwing
yeah.
and tossing
look,
or what?
let's
There's beach balls, but that's not for crowd surfing. That's usually just to pass time.
I mean, they'll surf me right the hell out of the place before I know it, and then I
they'll
can't
surf
get
you up
back
to
in.
security.
Right.
So and then
Well,
then
That's
you get
normally-
down. They help you get down. God bless security,
Yep.
and then you can go back and do it again.
That's normally where I end up when I've gone to concerts, is somewhere around security.
It is like clockwork. A huge shout out to those guys. I mean,
Man, what
being
would we
in the
do without them?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big, huge impact. I think that I would like to give, because a lot of times that doesn't get mentioned. During right now we're in the anticipation of ink and stuff. Nobody's saying security's awesome, but they really do help make the experience for the fans. And we wouldn't be able to crowd surf if it wasn't for security.
No,
it would be probably pretty messy.
I will tell you, my closest encounter with security was at a Heart concert again, back in Wheeling, West Virginia, the same Civic Center where I saw ZZ Top. And I was there with a couple of friends of mine, actually one of my bosses at the time at the newspaper I was working at. And apparently it's Wheeling Civic Center. We stood down on the floor. You could sit up in the seats above, or you could just stand on the floor. And we were standing on the floor and somehow ended up in the front row. And at some point in my beer-soaked brain, it became apparent to me that Ann Wilson would like me to stand beside her on stage.
Oh.
So
okay.
I began to climb said stage so that I could fulfill her request that I stand next to her. And 2 or 3 large security guards reminded me that that was not where she'd like me to be. She'd like me to be right back where I was.
Okay.
And that's where they deposited me rather quickly.
So when she made eye contact with you, that didn't mean come up here, Carl.
You know what? When you've had 12 or 1,500 beers, I mean, that kind of thing crosses your mind when you're 20 years old. You know, she wants me up there. I've got to go. Mm-hmm. And she really didn't. And they convinced me of that rather brusquely.
There was a band last year called Slaughter to Prevail.
Slaughter to
Prevail. And
somewhere,
that was the most crowd surfing I've ever seen.
It was.
Somewhere a mom out there is so proud. Oh, my son sings for Slaughter to Prevail.
Yeah, well, he's like a Russian guy, so
well, it probably is.
Do the Russian accent. Yeah. But they were crazy, and they did like the largest wall of death.
Yes.
Wall of death,
which is
what is a wall of death?
What is that? Yeah.
Can you explain to Carl?
Oh goodness, man!
What is a wall of death?
It was something as total brutal. Talk about brutality that you want to see at a metal concert. He did it. Alex, he freaking brought it. But everybody's there. It's just a big crowd. I was, further in the back, so I wasn't like right up front. I'm sure there was already some mosh pits going, but he decided, this is the vocalist, he said, we're going to divide and you're going to listen to me. And he had everybody part
the Red
create,
Sea, basically.
create a big, huge middle. And I mean, it probably took maybe
like 10 minutes.
I feel like 10 minutes. Yeah.
And they're kind of playing in the background. Like they're like, it's building. The music's building. And
he's
move out.
He's dividing the crowd.
Yes.
He's like Moses parting the Red Sea.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
So he was parting the crowd, and he did not say go until it was how he wanted it. And everybody, he took really good control of the crowd. And then they started to play, and all came together, one big mosh.
It ran into each other,
and it
when
was
the beat dropped, and it was like, ah.
So, and this is legal.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Wall of death.
Yes.
All willing participants, and I was photographing in the pit for that, which the pit not being the mosh pit up front where security stands.
That's
nice and safe.
That's where I'd be standing by large people.
But after that, there was they keep the show going, and there's just like there's like a sign, like you cross your arms when you need like a medic or security. Someone maybe got trampled and everybody's like helping each other out.
Right.
But there was a lot of that after the wall of death, and so
yes.
As a photographer, even I was kind of standing up looking. I was like, all right, like, hey, guy, there's, some people signing over there, and they're trying to get to people, and the band's still going, and there's mosh pits still going. It's crazy.
So once the wall of death, actually, you guys call them walls of death because there's 2 walls, right, coming together kind of thing?
Right.
At what point do they back up so those that are then injured can make their way off the battlefield?
Probably when they feel like it's time to back up.
Okay.
People were injured ones had to crowd surf their way. Like if you got injured, it was like, all right, we're picking you up. We're going to take you over the fence.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when I saw him do that, and you could see it on the big screens, the Megatron and everything as it went down, I knew that is not an area I wanted to attempt to get close to.
Yeah. No.
Because it's totally brutal. But that's the thing about the metal shows. You go because you can, you can mosh, you can let out aggression, but it's not where you're going to intentionally hurt someone. So, when we talk about brutality, and that was sick, and, moshing and wall of death and things like that, those are just terms, that is used for, the emotional connection and what the music brings, but it's more community, really.
Yeah, because I see pictures.
The fans, everybody's there to support each other.
Right, I see pictures of kids out at this show. This is a family-friendly event as well. I mean, this is not something, and I love to
Right.
make jokes about him, folks. Please don't take the ruminations of a badly aging old man the wrong way. I think this is a great event, and I love the idea, and I'll listen to the music, and I don't know that I'll actually go there, but I think it's a great thing, and I know we're going to see it when we start coverage this weekend. All the people out there are going to come on Facebook and go, "You shouldn't promote this satanic bullshit," and it just drives me nuts. I'm like, dude, calm down. This is devil music. Well, you know what? So was Elvis.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
just stop with that.
Yeah, and it's easy to point fingers when you really don't understand the community, and if you don't listen to the lyrics, or if you're just, taking it at face value.
I mean, I remember, and this was a documentary, and this probably the only time I really looked at a band and said, might not have wanted to do that. And it was Limp Bizkit, and it was at Woodstock 2.
Oh, yeah.
Out at the airport
Yeah.
tarmac. All these people on concrete for 3 days. And they decide the last night of the show that they're going, I don't think they did it, but concert people handed out, they were going to have like a candlelight vigil. So they gave these people candles, and they wanted to light them. And I think Fred Durst was having himself a day. And at some point, they did, what's that song, Break Shit or whatever it is? Yeah. They're doing that, and he actually encourages people to do it, and they start taking
Yes.
this place apart.
They really did.
And they set shit on fire.
Yeah.
And I mean, it burned down. And I'm just thinking that might not have been a good time for that song or that particular, but it was a
That
crazy
one's on
time.
the organizers, and
Yeah,
you've
it
seen
was.
the
It
documentaries
was
about
terribly
it, and
organized.
when
Yeah.
it's like you just cram people onto a tarmac and don't sell water for $10
Yeah.
or whatever, and don't have these.
ridiculous prices.
Festivals have obviously gotten better since then.
Yeah.
And Ink is one, by all accounts, and I've been to Sonic Temple. I don't know if you've been to Sonic Temple.
No, I
and
haven't been to Sonic
Louder
Temple.
Than Life or anything.
No.
I haven't been to that one, but people say that the culture at Ink, it's not always the best lineup per se compared to maybe a Sonic Temple, as far as big names. But the culture at Ink, people always say every year it's so awesome. It's very
Yeah.
the
logistics are a
family
lot
friendly
better,
is
what I've
if you're a
heard.
metal family, but just very much logistically, and as far as people taking care of each other, it's up there.
Yeah.
I have some rapid fire
Yeah.
questions for
Oh,
you.
rapid
Oh,
fire.
no.
Rapid
You're going to
fire.
make me think on a Monday morning.
We love a good rapid fire.
New segment, Rapid Fire with Chris Kelly.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Mosh pit or front row?
Depends on the band.
Oh, come on. You got to choose one.
I can only choose
gotta go.
one.
Choose one. Let's go. Rapid fire.
Mosh pit.
Rapid
Mosh pit.
fire. All right. Vinyl or streaming?
Streaming.
Leather jacket or band hoodie?
Band hoodie.
Headbang or air guitar?
Headbang.
Favorite concert venue?
I'd say Ink.
Loudest concert you've ever attended?
Pantera.
Band you've seen the most times?
Disturbed.
All right.
There you go. Ding, ding,
There you
ding,
go.
ding, ding, ding. See,
Well
that's how you play the game. That's what we wanted to hear. Congratulations for surviving the first rapid fire with Chris Kelly. Nice job, Chris. Well
Thanks.
done.
Appreciate it.
All right, this Bad Omens. They're playing their only Ohio show of the year at
Right.
Ink.
Yeah.
Given their explosive rise, what kind of energy are you expecting from the crowd? I think they're playing on Saturday night, right?
Saturday.
Saturday
Yeah, they
night.
close out Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you looking for from that crowd?
Oh, man. I think everybody's going to be just even more amped and ready, especially that they're returning and knowing that they're an Ohio band. So there's already going to be that excitement that is built up, especially, you're being there all day. You've already heard some really awesome bands, and then they're closing it out. So it's going to be, the energy will probably be just huge.
All right. Fine. Probably the last question, unless something else pops in my mind. But if you were given the keys to this festival for one day, and you could book any dream band to play
Oh, man.
outside OSR, what band would that
Oh,
be?
God, Carl. I cannot think this hard.
Oh, come on.
Monday.
I mean, for me,
Any
it's,
band that I would book.
yeah, for me, it's Metallica, or if I could bring back Leonard Skinner from 1975, that would probably
Oh,
be the.
God, that's a really tough call. I would probably go with Pantera.
Pantera.
Yeah.
They were at Ink a couple years ago, right?
Yep.
The original Pantera wasn't.
Oh,
right?
no.
I mean, when
They're 50-50 now.
Yeah, okay. Because it was Dimebag.
Dimebag, yeah. Dimebag Darrell, and then his brother that was on the drums, but they passed on.
That is just a ghastly video if you ever seen it. And Dimebag Darrell got shot and killed on stage down in Columbus. That was just stupid.
Well, let's not end with that. I mean,
no, we're not going to end with that. But all right, there was another thing I was going to ask you about structure, because we talked about how do I get crowd surfed. What's etiquette for a good mosh pit? I mean, when I'm running into somebody, do I hit them with a shoulder? Do I throw an elbow into their chin? Do I drop an elbow on their head?
You don't,
I think Carl's preparing for this.
Yeah.
He's really warming up to the idea.
I'm just curious, what is etiquette for when you're moshing?
Well,
what body parts can you slam in? I don't know.
It's more just, kind of side to side. Okay. Elbows, try to keep the elbows in.
Elbows tucked.
Yeah.
Keep elbows in.
Well, not tucked, but I mean, just don't be out there trying to elbow people. Okay. Just kind of slamming against each other, and then breaking apart. You go back to it, kind of you rotate around in a circle, kind of, so everybody gets a chance. And but also being there and having that person in front of you have their back, because maybe they lose balance or something like that. It's supporting each other and rocking out to the music at the same time where you're going around in the mosh pit. And
have you seen anybody in a mosh pit that didn't see it coming and didn't want to be there? And
sure. Yeah.
I mean, because that would be me. I'd be standing there and I'd ask myself, why is everybody suddenly 20 feet away from me? I don't think this is going to end well. And I would look around and I'm really short, so I can't see how to get out. Next thing you know, I'm getting moshed and pitted.
Yeah. I think there's been some people for sure that have gone at it too hard, and then they find out, hey, this is not how you do it. And, there's usually somebody, there's always like a mentor in the mosh pit, in the crowd, that will kind of call people out if they're maybe going too aggressive.
Now, Heiser, have you mosh pitted?
I usually I'm kind of, maybe
just say no. You're scared and you're not doing it. Let it go.
I don't really get in there. I mean, usually I've got a camera with me. So
don't mosh with a camera.
I'm trying to get maybe some pictures, or I'm trying to kind of keep my elbow out to avoid any punches or whatever. But I usually get in there. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, our intern last year, who we Malachi Stanfield, shout out. We gave him a wristband for a day. We get a few press wristbands. We're like, all right, yeah, you got to do a story, So he puts the wristband on, and of course we're sharing these wristbands. So we're like, don't put it on too tight. Of course, at the end of the day, he's like, I can't get this off, because once you can't cut it and then put it back on. You got to really kind of do the whole thing.
You sleep with it, right?
Well, but he wasn't supposed to go the whole weekend.
Oh, see, well, you guys needed to get it back.
However, we had enough. I was like, just go have fun. But you need to, and you don't have to do another story, but you need to have fun. You need to go and do this. And he ended up crowd surfing to Slipknot on Saturday night in the rain, and had the time of his life. So that's what it's all about.
Now, there's a good chance, looking at the weather forecast, that there might be some rain on Saturday and Sunday. Like now, Friday looks really good. How do you deal with that? I mean, do you have an umbrella? I mean, does it bother the people behind you in the mosh pit?
You can't bring umbrellas.
If I've got my umbrella up and you're moshing behind me, I don't know these things.
You just get a rain poncho. A lot of people buy those, area stores, Walmart. They're always sold out if you wait until the weekend to buy one. So stock up on those and just wear it as long as you want to. I know last year and even years before, it does always typically rain. And
it's summer in Ohio.
Right, And, for the most part, people will wear their rain poncho as long as they can stand it. But you end up taking it off because you end up getting wet no matter what if you stay there through the whole, the whole time it's raining.
Sometimes you just end up taking your clothing off, too.
Again,
that's
not
what I did last year. Just shirt, but it was
nobody wants.
It had to happen.
That.
It was soaking wet, and I mean, rain or shine, it's on.
It happens. Yeah.
I mean,
as long as there's no lightning.
Oh, that would be bad because you're standing out in the middle of a field. I wouldn't worry. I'm short. Now, you guys that are taller than me, I got nothing for you. But I mean, this is a good weather weekend. The last festival I used to go to on a regular basis, music festival, was Jamboree in the Hills. which
Okay.
is down by outside of Wheeling, West Virginia, on the Ohio side of the border. And it's usually 3 or 4 days, and they'd get, I think the largest crowd they had on a Saturday night, that's 100,000 people there. But they picked the third weekend in July every year because they spent 20 or 30 years of weather data, and the third weekend in July was the driest average weekend. So that's when they picked out that to do Jamboree in the Hills.
Yeah.
That's where I saw Charlie Daniels on a Saturday night and 100,000 people. And a month later, he was playing at the Ashland County Fair in front of about 3,000 people. It's quite the difference in Charlie's performance. But
So are you going to be out there all 3 days?
I plan to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rain or shine?
Yes, rain or shine.
Rain or shine.
Yep.
Let's go. Well, we should we should exchange numbers and meet up.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
We'll be out there. Hayden and I will be out there Friday, Saturday at least.
Okay. All right.
Who's going out Sunday?
You.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
No.
are. Wear the blue shirt though.
No, yeah, the blue shade. Because
Now you have all of your skills.
I
You
do.
have every
That's good.
detail
Yeah,
you need to mosh.
I really think this interview is just to prepare you, Carl.
yeah, I can.
For
You know
the
what?
weekend.
I would probably be seated somewhere at Mancy. That's how far away I would be. Yeah, I work Sundays, but I got a function. I get to edit
talking
all
to
you
the mic.
guys.
Well,
Just
you could
saying.
always just, you know what? The joke is the orange lot. Everybody, it takes forever to get out of the orange lot. So you could actually set up shop there, and then maybe you can be one of the first people to leave
I like that.
before everybody tries to, and you'll still make it to work on Monday.
I like to be the first person to leave things because I really.
Or you could be the last person to leave, and then it's not as crowded.
As
either.
much as I dislike crowds, I dislike traffic more. What is the traffic like when you go out to Ink? Because I mean, I see.
It gets pretty congested.
It does.
It depends on the route that you take. Either way you take, you're going to get, caught up in line.
So it's got to be patient.
Hayden and I have a nice little short. We have a couple shortcuts.
Be
that
careful.
I
You don't
am
want to
gonna
give 'em away.
tease.
You don't want to give them
no,
away.
Well,
They
should I
won't-
give them? Should I put one in the ink primer?
I'm not
think-
driving, so if you want to get yourself stuck, I mean, that's up to you.
Well, a lot
pal.
of the neighborhood right across the street from Ink, a lot of those people will let you park there for a fee. So you can use that, maybe get out quicker than the general masses. I know there's usually like a long line waiting for those that are returning to the campgrounds because, they only have
They take
so many
shuttles, right?
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
so many people can fit on one shuttle. So that gets congested at times. But, yeah, I
Some
think
people
sometimes it
walk
depends where you
miles
park.
to their spot, and
Yeah.
that's not a bad thing. You kind of walk off your buzz. It's the end of the night. Whatever, a couple miles, not a big deal.
couple
Yeah,
miles.
hit a
for the-
food
Sure.
truck somewhere.
Yep.
Get those steps in.
Get those steps in. That's definitely.
So when you guys go, who are you looking forward to seeing?
Ooh, good question. Well, I'm kind of like doing a little research because, to be honest, there's not, the headliners. I don't know, but I always love going out and not knowing half the bands and just being like, just discovering
That's the
new
cool
stuff.
thing, yeah.
But
There's no way to
this band playing Saturday night, Gojira.
Gojira.
Gojira. They're like a French band.
Wasn't that like a Japanese monster movie?
It could have been.
Gojira? Oh, it's Godzilla. I'm sorry.
But apparently they put on and it's just like right before Bad Omens on Saturday, and I feel like Saturday night is the peak of the festival, even though you have a Sunday night headliner, but it's like where everybody's like most excited. It's right in the middle, and the band before the headliner that last year that was Slaughter to Prevail for Slipknot, and that was a great show. So I'm kind of and I didn't know that band going in, so I'm kind of got my eye on that one. They apparently put on just an incredible light show and pyrotechnics and all that. So I don't know. Hayden, do you have your eye on anything?
I'm kind of the guy that goes out there, and I'm like Carl, but I go. I don't really know anything, year round. I don't particularly listen to this genre of music, but last year was the first year that I took photos in the photo pit, and I just have a blast doing that. I think it's super interesting. So I'm like a utility guy. I just go with the flow.
See, I would think that if a new heavy metal or death metal, if a band wanted to start out and they wanted to choose a name, I mean, there's a lot of, Vicar Blood and some things out there. I mean, I'd pick a different name. I'd be like, Pretty Pumpkin.
Not Corpse Pile.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pretty Pumpkin. Yeah. And then we come out and we do some heavy metal stuff. They're like, man, they don't really sound like a Pretty Pumpkin.
It's not a bad strategy, Carl.
No, you have to like advertise against. But all right, we're saying, where can people hear the She Shreds podcast? Where do they go?
Yeah, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. There's another streaming platform, but I'm not real familiar with it. It's just my software automatically puts it out there. But those are the three main ones that I post to.
Well, we will put a link to those in the show notes. So, folks,
Thank
if
you.
you want to see where you can listen to She Shreds and see She Shreds, you did that to me
Say it
again.
5 more times.
No, I can't. My lips are completely paralyzed.
You were
at
on
this
a
point.
roll there for a while, too.
I was. I was doing so good. Well, not so good, but by my standards, I was doing okay. All right, folks. We are going to wrap up today's show on that note. Many thanks to Rasan Leathers for joining us today. It's going to be a wild 3 days and nights at Ink, and she will be right in the middle of it all, moshing and surfing and hopefully staying safe like everybody does out there. Thank you for being here.
Me.
Well, thanks for coming in. Chris, thanks for joining us today. You're welcome back.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
The only person who might know less about heavy metal and death metal in this room is Chris. So, he and I are of a similar genre.
I'm the light rock days.
Yeah,
I'm the
okay.
easy listening.
Yeah,
and-
you would play Pretty Pumpkin music.
I would.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would.
yeah.
I like the sound of it.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's comforting.
It is. All right, hey, join us next week, folks. We're going to have Scott Palmer and Jeff Nupin, the owners of the Ohio Shine Company in Mansfield. They will be our guests, and we're certainly hoping they bring some samples. That could be a wild show before we get done. But for now, thanks again to all of you for listening to the Newsman Weekly. I'll be back in a second to put a bow on this week's episode, but until then, please remember what author Mark Twain once said. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything.